Good evening. I'm Pastor Ron.
And I'm Deborah.
And we're tuning in for another live. Please be mindful that we are on YouTube under His True Seeker. We're also on Gab under His True Seeker and Rumble under His True Seeker. We are on Bitchute under His Truth Seeker 777. And all of those sites are listed in the description box below. With me through that, I would absolutely love to be able to have communication with you guys. So please keep in touch with me that way. Some very, very awesome news came out last night regarding our president and the declaration that he made regarding his concern over having America vaccinated. So I'd like to share with you some of his heartfelt concerns because he is so
Being sarcastic.
and he wants the best for you.
You're being sarcastic when you say awesome, right? Awesome for who?
So this first article comes out of the Epic Times. They are a very, very powerful media source, I believe. And it says here, vaccines and safety. The Biden administration announces door-to-door outreach teams. So there are outreach teams that will be trained and set up by the government.
Like disciples? Disciples going out
Disciples 2 by 2? To inject the vaccination. To get Americans vaccinated. President Joe Biden and other White House will start targeting community door-to-door outreach in an effort to boost COVID-19 vaccination rates. Now, we know many individuals that have been struggling with, should they get a vaccination, should they not get the vaccination, what should they do? Decisions, but for me and my house, we said we were not going to get vaccinated, and there's several reasons for that. But
even if they come to our door.
Even if they come to our door.
Absolutely not.
But there are many reasons why people should or shouldn't, and you need to do your own research. And but millions of Americans are unvaccinated due to the, I don't understand this, because millions of Americans are unvaccinated, and due to the so-called Delta COVID-19 variant that's spreading, Biden said that his administration will attempt to ramp up all vaccination efforts. So they are so concerned for you. Now, what I was getting ready to say was about Dr. Fauci and President Donald J. Trump said we were approaching this thing called herd immunity. Now, another year has almost passed by, at least a half a year, and now over 70% of Americans have at least one shot. Minimum of 1/3 has 2 shots, plus the herd immunity. In my humble opinion, I don't see what the big rush is. But the president said, do it now. N-O-W, do it now. During a White House press conference referring to get the president said that people will be, not might be, not possibly, people will be knocking on your door to get help, to get you help to the remaining people who are not vaccinated. If you want help or not, you're going to get some help. It is part of a community.
Oh boy.
It's part of a community outreach program, he said. That is being set up. Listen, that is being set up as mass vaccination sites are being phased out. Biden also spoke about how his administration plans to make the vaccine available in more healthcare settings. Like if you don't have the vaccine, they're going to want to help you out by administering the vaccine to you. Since you have been so neglected and you've not been a part of your community and you don't have your little immuniband. If you don't have your little blue immuniband, I don't even know how you're functioning, because pretty soon you're not going to be able to work or do church. Those initiatives include providing more assistance of thousands of pharmacies, doctors' offices, and other medical facilities so they can distribute the vaccines to you. Biden said, vaccines will also, here's what you need to really look into, so you know how conveniently the vaccines can come right to you. They are so concerned about you. So do you know how you go to sporting events and your children have sporting events and adults go to sporting events and take their kids to sporting events? Well, guess what? They're going to be given vaccinations at the sporting events. Summer events, there's a whole lot of summer events like cookouts, family get-together. They're distributing the vaccine. Also, this one got my attention, religious activities. Church is a religious activity. They will be visiting and administering vaccinations at religious activities. We are intensifying our efforts to meet people. They are, the president said.
We're going to pray. They're not coming to our church. They're not going to give them at our church. We're going to pray that when they come, that the Holy Spirit will overtake them in the name of Jesus.
I hope you heard that. Younger Americans, Biden added, and this is your children, younger Americans, Biden added, seem particularly reluctant to get. The president argued they're more at risk of contracting the Delta variant and that strain is responsible for most new COVID-19 cases. I don't even know how they know that, because the Delta variant is relatively new, whatever that is. Seems to me it should cause everyone to think twice, the President Biden said. House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said the administration's efforts will include targeted by community door to door at remaining Americans vaccinated. They're going to have an evangelistic squad. They're doing a community outreach.
You know, Satan always has a counterfeit.
Doesn't this make you feel warm and fuzzy that our government is so concerned about you? They are going to go door to door. HIPAA's out the door, and the government's coming in the door. It is not clear how to accomplish this yet, and neither she nor Biden proved any more details. The administration will first target communities with lower vaccination rates, she added. The door-to-door outreach efforts will get information about vaccines to people who haven't received them yet. They are just so concerned for you and I, people who have not got the vaccine, that they're going to come and help you. They're going to minister the vaccine and tell you why you should get the vaccine. The plan is part of the government's COVID-19 response after the White House fell shy of its self-imposed July 4th deadline to get 70% of American adults at least one vaccination shot, according to data from the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. That's a lot of people. 157 million are fully vaccinated, plus those who had COVID before the vaccination. I think we had herd immunity by now. I think a lot of people have a God-given immunity built up against it. But I'm just saying. So you just don't give up because you haven't reached every single person. What? Saki, where to apply where what we've seen have been the best practices over the past several months. The teams deployed by the White House or the government will be composed of officials. Oh, here we go now. They're governmental teams that are going to be coming to your house because they love you so much. They want to come and visit you and help you.
Greg said put up a no solicitation sign at every access point.
House will be composed of officials from the CDC because they love you so much. The Federal Emergency Management Administration, FEMA, and other federal health agencies, Biden said. They're going to come and see you because they love you and they want to make sure you have the vaccination. This comes as CDC Director Rochelle Walensky last week said there are still around one United States that have less than 30% vaccinated coverage. They're mainly located in Southeast and Midwest regions, she added. The Delta variant has now been found in every U.S. state, health officials previously said. The Epoch Times has contacted the White House for comment on this outreach program. So, that is one article that I had found that I found very interesting. Another article also, because there was two of them today that I found very interesting. Now, this one was from Breitbart News. President Joe Biden to send government officials door to door across America to pressure people to accept the vaccination. Now, I'm just reading the article. This is quotes from what the president said. President Joe Biden said Tuesday that he would be sending officials out to knock on people's doors across America to pressure. He said, quote, now we need to go community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors to get help to the remaining people, Biden said during his speech about coronavirus. Now, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki used a similar phrase Tuesday in which she said coronavirus preventive measures will entail, I don't care who's trying to target me, I don't like being a target. But they're going to target community by community, door-to-door outreach to get the remaining Americans vaccinated. A CBS News reporter asked Psaki during the same briefing if the White House would reimpose coronavirus restrictions as cases tick up, or is it up to the states? Good question. We certainly support their decision to implement measures that will, Psaki said. States and local communities will have to make evaluations about what is in their best interest. There are much higher rates of vaccination in some parts of the country versus others, she continued. We are at almost 70% vaccination rate for adults 27 and older, but almost 27 and older, but almost for 18 and older. Oh no. Breitbart News Delta variant of the Chinese coronavirus is reportedly forcing the Biden administration to rethink COVID-19 measures, which could include reinstituting mask mandates, even among the vaccinated.
Oh my.
Meanwhile, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, has dubbed the Delta variant. The variant totals roughly 20% of infections in the United States and has prompted the World Health Organization to urge fully vaccinated individuals to also wear face coverings. Dr. Anthony Fauci on July 4th cautioned that individuals will begin to see almost two types of America. Listen, two types of America. That's like splitting when you take one and make it two. Dr. Fauci on July 4th see almost two types of America. Between the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Oh my, that is so brilliant. That's so brilliant.
As the Delta variant spreads across the nation, as the Biden administration is rethinking the coronavirus from China. A July poll indicates 50% of the Americans believe they have less personal freedom today than before the corona. Now, I share these two very important articles with you so you can do your own research, do your own diligence, because sooner or later, knock, 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 they're coming to your door. Like it or not.
But Jesus is knock, knock, knocking on your door.
How about that
The
one?
door of your heart.
Jesus
You better know where your heart is sold out to.
is knock, knock, knocking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, team, I thought about this a long time now. Worried about 16 months ago. And I remember these stages that we've been through. And it sounds something like this. At first, when I told people what God told me, and I said, this is what I think's coming on the earth, and this is what's going to happen, and we're in this window of time, people said it was conspiracy theory. How about that?
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, it began to hit home. Then we got by that, and then they may make masks mandatory. Oh, that's conspiracy theory. Then next thing you know, everybody had a mask on. Then we went through another phase of lockdowns. And everybody said, oh, that was going to be a conspiracy theory. That would never happen. Then next thing you know, everybody was locked down. Then it was a matter of the World Economic Forum and the Great Reset. And that was all a conspiracy theory. Until then all of a sudden the economy would be fed financially by the government, and that was also a conspiracy theory until that happened. Then we got to getting to the vaccine. Then we said the vaccine would be mandatory and everybody would have to get the vaccine. And that was a conspiracy theory until the Bible talks about specific things that are going to happen before the return of the Messiah. Remember how we used to say the Bible is our filter and we take every single thing through the Bible? Well, the Bible has a lot to say about this. And Jesus had a lot to say about it. You know, in Matthew 24, the disciples came to Jesus, said, "Tell us, Lord, what will be the sign of thy coming in the end of the age?" Thing that Jesus told them.
Be not deceived.
Be not deceived. For many will come in my name, saying they're the Christ, and they'll deceive many. Many people are going to tell you that they have the best for you. Many people are going to tell you that this isn't the mark of the beast, that isn't the mark of the beast. There's one of my most highly respected ministries in the country. I've learned a lot off of them. And I just looked at their website today, and the title of it was, "Will you know what the mark of the beast is? And is this the mark of the beast? Is that the mark?" So many ministries swiping away with a broad brush a specific, detailed out act that is occurring in our lives within a specific window prophetically, and act like it has absolutely nothing to do with the mark of the beast. Now, these are some points that I wrote down that had to happen. These are prophetic points that had to happen to put us in this window in order for this to be.
Before you go in, that says, "So
No,
as
go
it
ahead.
was in the days of Noah, so shall it be at the end." And he said Noah was a conspiracy theorist until it rained.
They were, yeah, Noah's time, they all thought it was conspiracy theory.
Yep.
So
until
Terry,
it
that's a
rains.
great one.
Yep.
Yes. That's Terry from Colorado.
Yep.
That's a she.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the first stake in the ground that we saw was the Revelation 12:1 sign. And I've told all of you to please go to Wikipedia. Please, you owe it to yourself and to your friends and your family members. Please go to Wikipedia and just type in the great sign and read that and read Revelation 12. You owe that to yourself. Number 2 was a man by the name of Donald J. Trump come on the scene in 2017. And he was there to cause great change. That's what the word Trump actually means. That God divinely sent him to the earth to cause change. So he did 4 things. President Trump accomplished 4 things when he was on the earth. 1 was he declared Israel the nation that God declared. 2, he actually built an embassy in Israel. 3, he placed the United States Embassy in Israel. And number 4, most importantly, he signed the peace treaty called the Abraham Accords. That was just the beginning of this entire process. Then we started to look for signs that would impact or affect the entire world. The Bible talks about incurable diseases and famines and pestilence. Well, this thing called COVID-19 hit the earth. That qualified for the incurable disease and also a worldwide pandemic. And we was looking for something that would have political as well as economic impact, not just in the United States, but around the world. And that's also what we saw. Worldwide banking institutions would be affected by this. And we've seen this with the with the universal banking system. The World Economic Forum, which we've already mentioned to you, and the Great Reset, people thought that was conspiracy theory. I just said, please go to their website. And I still say this, 16 months later, please go to their website.
They're not hiding anything.
No, Deborah says they're not hiding anything. As a matter of fact, they're proud of what they're doing. The World Health Organization and the CDC, worldwide dominance and population control. Lockdowns, masks, COVID passport, and the blue Immuna band bracelets. You should all be educated on every single one of those. We are now today discussing and revealing, talking about the president of the United States declaring that there will be door-to-door visitations for your homes, sporting events, and religious activities. We've declared to you the education camps that do exist here as well in other countries.
We talked about that 8 months ago.
8 months ago, Deborah said, we covered that in several of our videos that you can go back and watch. We discussed 31 points that's found in Matthew 24. They were called the powerful prophetic points of our time. You can go back and find those also on our YouTube channel. I transferred many of those to Rumble before they got erased. I like to close with this thought. The three things in Revelation 13 is the name, the number, and the mark. Code name is Luciferian. The number is 060606. And the mark is the COVID passport. I'm just saying it's worth consideration and serious due diligence. These points you need to seriously be concerned and research them while you have the freedom to research them. Because I'm telling you, very soon there's going to be some knocks at people's doors who have not got the vaccination. I love every single one of you. I appreciate your time this evening. I pray that you would share this as quickly as you possibly can, because they love you so much. They love me so much. I don't know how long they'll leave it on the site again. But I think it would be to your best interest to send it to your friends and loved ones. We know that the truth that we know, that truth. But until then, this is Pastor Ron.
And Deborah.
And Deborah. We're signing off this evening. We love every single one of you. We thank you for your support. Please share this link and get the truth out. Until next time, this is Pastor Ron. Peace, love, and joy to you all. Until next time, we'll see you then. God bless you.